all your school rugby, all in one place. This is NextGenXV.
Alright guys, welcome to NextGen15, and in today's video we are going to be looking at the South African Schools Dream Team 15 as selected by you, the followers of NextGen15. So if you are new to our channel, please don't forget to click that subscribe button as well as bell notification, and as soon as new videos are released you'll be the first to know. So, what a few weeks of voting it has been. Well over 100,000 total votes have been cast in the competition as a whole, so it's been an absolutely fantastic experience so far. More popular than last year even, which says a lot. Now what started out last year as an attempt to create a virtual experience of Craven Week has become its own competition. As you recall, last year, as soon as we heard that Craven Week was cancelled, we decided to create sort of a virtual Craven Week experience, and then we modified it this year because we had an assumption Craven Week in Grand Coma would take place, but they obviously did not. So we basically created a standalone competition which will take place every year. There have been some crazy parents, but besides that, all good. We understand where they're coming from. I mean, look, these things do get competitive, and for some of the youngsters that haven't secured senior level contracts, it could be an opportunity to get a bit more exposure. So basically last year we had some parents contacting us and saying that we cheated in the competition and all the rest of it, and it wasn't the case. Seriously, like, we've got no incentive to cheat in these type of things. So this year we decided, look, we'll do it on Instagram and just purely do it on Instagram vote, and that way we can't be accused of cheating. And then we did get some accusations that we were cheating, and it's like, we can't really control Instagram's voting system. Believe me, if we had a way to control Instagram's voting system, I don't think we'd be focusing too much on school rugby, you know what I mean? I think we'd have bigger fish to fry in that case. So, no, we didn't add or subtract any votes on it. We literally can't. I mean, we can't hack Instagram. It's like, it's impossible. So, this was as honest as we could possibly make it. But, things can get competitive and all the rest of it. So we do understand, not the worst messages we've ever received. So just so there's an understanding how the whole system works, is that basically the first stage is that there's a Dream Team 15 selected. So what we did initially is we put a list of 25 names per position and on our website, and the top 8 votes, were the top 8 players with the most votes will go through to the Dream Team vote, right? And that is from fullback all the way down to loose head prop. And obviously, it worked on a head-to-head basis. So you started out with 8 players, and then there'd be one ultimate winner. And then, after the dream team has been named, I mean, you got 15 players, right? So you can't really have a competition with 15 participants in terms of a knockout or a head-to-head. So you need 16. So that's where the wild card draw comes in. So all the runner-up of the competition, they basically qualify for the wild card draw. And what will happen then is that their names will literally be put in a hat, one name will be drawn out, and that person will still stand a chance to take place in what is stage 3, the MVP final 16. So that's just going to be a random draw. So instead of it being done positionally, it's just going to be done by all the winners plus the wild card. And the winner of this will win boots from Vane Club worth over 10,000 Rand. We're going all out this year. And the runner-up will be receiving a hamper from Shadow Ball, who are the skill specialists. So we're really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a very intense competition, and I wish all the boys luck. So the runners-up, the runner-up 15. So these players over here, I mean, some great talent, very unlucky. They are basically the wild cards. So one of these players will have their name selected, and they'll be joining our other 15 finalists in the competition. So anyway, let's get into the dream team, the guys that won the competition. So starting off with fullback, Ngati Mayo from Northwood. Had to get through a heck of a lot of competition, some tight votes and all the rest of it, but man, his community came through for him. Very well-known player in the KZN area, searing pace, overall backline play, the way he links up with his backline's amazing as well. I've had a chance to, obviously since this competition, I've had a chance to really take a look at his footage, and definitely looking forward to seeing more of him in the future. Very exciting talent, electrifying prospect, and someone that's obviously got a lot of support out there. So well done on your selection, Ngati. Obviously, you're going to be making it through to the final 16. Right wing, this man needs zero introduction. Eben Chikonga from Wynberg Boys, absolutely lethal runner. I mean, this guy probably could have been playing first team almost anywhere in the country from when he's like 14 years old, probably. Guys, he's been a monster for a long time. Very comfortable centre as well for this competition, a wing. He was named in our Cape Storm team last year, and very, very special talent, Ebenezer. Who knows where he's going to end up, but whatever club gets him next is going to be getting one of the best young talents in the world, and that's not even over-exaggerating things. And then left wing, Ethan Isaacs from Paul Boys. That Paul Boys backline something special. Every year they produce some really, really great players. From what I'm understanding, there's a lot of demand from Ethan from the 7 side. I definitely see a future for him in the next maybe 3 to 4 years in the 7 circuit. I think he's going to become a very important player, and then making the transition gradually to the 15-man game. And he's a really hard-working young kid, very humble, very nice guy, and I'm very happy for him that he won this competition and that his whole community came through for him. So well done, Ethan, and good luck for the rest of the competition. Then our centres, Alec McIntyre from Grey College. Obviously had a lot of competition to get through. This is quite a competitive position, and just edged out Damien Marcus in the final from Stellenberg, who's a player we really rate highly. Alec is going to have another year in his first team, so we can't wait to see him next year. Very, very solid player, and he's part of a very solid Grey College group next year who are definitely going to be aiming for the number 1 position next year. So it's going to be a very interesting year for them. Then outside centre, Keegan Smith, another one from Paul Boys, just edged out Suleiman Hartzenberg. Who can ever forget that tackle? I know every time I mention Keegan's name, I remember that tackle against Monument, but it's something that I simply can't forget. So Keegan's just signed up with the Lions. He's going to be moving there, and can't wait to see what he does in the field of play there. The Lions are doing so well in the under-20 competition. That's because they are very, very selective in their recruitment. I think some other unions maybe on paper have better players and more depth, but just in terms of cohesion and in terms of quality over quantity, I think the Lions recruitment has been absolutely brilliant, and it says a lot that Keegan's going to be moving over to them. So let's see what happens over there. But they say dynamite comes in small packages, and while Keegan's not the smallest guy on the planet, he's not the tallest guy, but make no mistake, he makes up for that more than enough in his power. I mean, he's very, very explosive, and I think he's going to be taking a couple of names next year, so it'll be very interesting to see what he does in that Lions setup. Big future awaiting him, I think. Then the halfbacks, Caleb Abrahams, very, very great player, guys. We've spoken about him since he was an under 16. Generally, what we don't really want to talk about youngsters at under 16 level, but with no Grant Como last year, we felt obliged to do it. And then, when I contacted a couple of guys and I said, who are some special under 16 players that we should be taking note of? And everyone basically said, watch Caleb Abrahams, just watch this guy. And as soon as I saw footage of him, I was just like, where did this kid come from? He's been like way beyond his years for a long time, and I think he's in a fantastic environment there at Grey College as well. My fear for someone with this level of talent always is that if they go to a smaller school where it's focused more on the individual and being a star, they lack that cohesion and teamwork, that sort of ability. But going to Grey, where it's more about the team than an environment, team environment than a individualistic environment, is well suited to a player like this. And whatever union gets him at the end of next year, whoever secures his signature is going to be a very, very lucky team. They're going to be getting an absolutely lethal talent. And it's so exciting. We've got another year of this guy, so it's going to be very interesting. Next up, fly off, Sam Francis. I mean, at the beginning of this competition, I mean, who could have seen this coming? I mean, you got Compion van Ludwig, Jean Smith, Liam Kuhn, guys that all have the ability to go all the way to the top of the game. And the finals between Sam Francis and Josh Monsieur from Hilton was a very tough back and forth, but Sam finally came through. And Sam is someone that featured in our Under the Radar series, guys, because he is someone that's very much under the radar. He's an exceptional talent. I mean, I really think St Andrews, obviously we just did a video on that. St Andrews got a very underrated rugby program, and Sam is one of the best talents to come out of there for quite a while. I mean, that's saying a lot when you think about Matt Moore, you think about Lloyd Costa, players like this that have come through the program over there. Sam is a very, very exciting talent, guys, and I don't know what his situation is, but I think every union should be knocking down the door to get this kid. He's very, very good at his distribution. He's got pace, excellent kicking ability, and well deserved, in my opinion. He really got his whole community behind him, and it's nice to see a kid from a Grahamstown school make this list. There's some great talent in that Albany area, in the Eastern Cape area, that doesn't get the kudos they deserve. So hopefully this is the first step for Sam. Hopefully he gets a massive opportunity so he can showcase his talent. But yeah, very excited about him. We've got our loose forwards. Blindside flank, Corbin Thunder from Maritzburg College. Corbin, another one that featured in our Under the Radar series. He's captain of Maritzburg College, so far unbeaten the season, beaten all their KZN rivals at the time of this video. And they've been led by this guy. He's been a tremendous leader. He was a hooker before, and then he moved on to the blindside flank. It's actually very interesting to see that dynamic between hooker and blindside flank. There's a lot of similarities in the position that I think, even like someone like Jacques Coetzee, when he moved from hooker to blindside, was absolutely amazing. And Corbin has used his low centre of gravity, competed well on the ground, and he's also got that rugged toughness that you expect from a hooker. So all around talent over here. And I'm hearing there's some big interest in the UK for him, and there are quite a few clubs looking to sign this youngster. So hopefully the best club wins, and they can take him on, and they're going to have a real special play on their hands. Open side flank, Luca Ribbons. Luca, obviously our number one prospect this year for good reason. Should I complain more about how he didn't make the SA school squad to Georgia? I won't complain. I'll just say to the selectors, whatever you were smoking, send some over to me, because that must be some very good stuff. That must be some excellent stuff. So contact me. Let's talk about that rather than how they missed out with Luca Ribbons. I think that's more a worthwhile discussion than me complaining about him not making the squad again. So yeah, let's rather talk about that subject then. But well done, Luca. I still think the Sharks have made an astute signing over there, and hopefully the SA under 20 selectors will be more open-minded. Let's say it like that. I rate him a lot. I wouldn't have named him the number one prospect if I didn't rate him a lot. So yeah, that's it. And it should be a very interesting experience in the last 16. So let's see who can get that pair of boots. But I think Luca's got a very big following and a very big community behind him. So it's definitely going to be an interesting scenario. Yeah. 8th man, Zuki Tom from Grey High School, another head scratcher in terms of the SA school selection. Zuki's really much looks up to Sia Kolisi. He's a Grey High School like Sia Kolisi was, and he models his game upon Sia Kolisi, the South African captain, obviously. From the border region originally. I mean, this guy he never had the facilities that most people have to train. He picks up cement, he goes running every day on gravel roads, on grass, whatever it takes, and he really works his backside off, And I think definitely a shoo-in for SA school selection, probably 2022. But then again, we thought the same thing with Lucas, so I'd rather keep my mouth shut on that one. But, very tight vote between him and Niels Volschenk. And, Niels has got a big following as well, highly respected rugby player, likely SA schools captain. He made the squad at least. Likely captain as well, so it says a lot that Zuki was managed to get the what is it called again? Kabecha. I have to make sure I get this right. The Kabecha community behind him. So well done, Zuki. I'm sure that a lot of the guys are rooting for you, and let's see how far you can get into this competition. How far you can get in terms of the last 16. Okay, locks. Ruan Fenter from Pole Boys. Just to think, like a year ago, he was playing in Sutherland, and a year later he's starting for Pole Boys and playing for the Lions under 20 already as a lock. Says a lot about the direction he's heading. Almost certain he's going to make the baby box next year. Whether he's going to be playing as a lock or an open side flank remains to be seen, but very, very interesting future in store for Ruan, I think. I mean, if you take a look at his highlights when he was at Sutherland, I mean, he was kicking the ball, kicking for posts, he was doing tactical kicking, running all over the place. And I think the thing is, when you're in that environment, you've got this much natural talent, you very much become a self-taught rugby player. So it's nice to see that at Paul Boys, they still gave him that freedom to play his natural game instead of try to stifle his creativity and his instincts. And it paid off. I think he got a hat-trick in his first game, or 2 tries in his first game, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, look, he scored a try within like 20 seconds of his debut for Paul Boys. So very, very exciting to see what happens with him. And I'm just happy, we managed to cover him while he's still in Sutherland, doing a video highlight for him on our channel. Just a short 30-second clip, but yeah, it was great to see this guy go from Sutherland to Paul Boys to the Lions. I think it's been a fantastic journey for him, and let's see how far he gets in the final 16. Next up, JF van Heerden from Grey College, one of the breakout stars this year, guys. I mean, what a year he's had. Just been all over the field of play, very athletic, strong as an ox. The mobility and the engine, I mean, it's unreal. Now, I know he's definitely more suited as a lock, but Peter Steph the Toy also started out as a lock, and I see similarities in these guys just in terms of their overall gameplay. The engine as well, this guy just doesn't stop. I mean, he doesn't take a break for a second, always looking for work, and that's maybe got a lot to do with his farming background. A lot of these farmer kids, rugby game's nothing for them. They work from early morning until to late in the evening on the farm, so maybe that's got something to do with it. But he's another one that we're going to be fortunate enough to see for another year next year, and was included in the South African school squad this year, so there's going to be a shoo in next year, and he's going to be one of the top prospects to watch. And he had a very tough one against Henny Sieberhagen in the final, and just came through, and very happy for him. Seems like a nice kid. Next up, Blockie Louw, Lucette prop from Paul Gym. What a joy it's been to watch him play and watch him grow this year. Part of the first team squad last year as well for Paul Gym. Sorry, I mean, my apologies. You should definitely not confuse Paul Boys and Paul Gym. So yeah, I won't edit that out. I'll just apologize. So you can see we all make some mistakes. Blockie's really had a standout year this year. Like JF van Heerden, he was definitely one of those guys that just really made a name for himself and really stood out this year. And he's a very, very exciting prospect, guys. And he was one of the guys that actually made it through the voting quite unscathed. I think he won all of his votes very comfortably. When that happens, it basically means it's not only about his community voting and getting behind him, it's also, the general public getting behind him and voting for him, especially when you're looking at those margins. So very happy for Blockie. He's a very down-to-earth player, and there are whispers that he's heading to the Bulls next year, and I think it'll be a great environment for him, because I think they're stacked in terms of the tight head position, but in the loose head, they definitely need someone like him. I think there's a very, very clear pathway for him there. Next up, Bryce Calvert from Westville Boys. Who else? Definitely the number one hooker in the country this year. Definitely would have been a South African school starter. And, the first couple of games we saw him this year as well, guys, he was just immense. He really stood out. Westville definitely have an exciting program. I think results-wise, probably wasn't what they were necessarily hoping for this year. But in terms of Bryce, as a leader, as a player, just an absolute inspiration for Westville, and those guys are willing to follow him into battle all the way, and they really got behind him, and the community really got behind him. So Bryce got through the whole competition pretty unscathed, and along with someone like Blockie, it's definitely these are definitely players that you think to yourself that are going to go quite far in the final 16 of the competition. Tight head was a bit tougher, but finally a certain player named Sufiso Ngoza pulled through and made the tight head position his own. Grade 11 as well. And, the first match that I saw him play, I thought to myself, he looks quite nervous making the step up. And I thought to myself, maybe the year off in under 16 level had an impact on him. And then the last couple of games, he came back with an absolute bang. He's playing like a monster. Probably the best tight head in the country in his age group. I think it's going to be very hard to argue against that. Definitely one of the best tight heads in the country, even as an under 17 player. He's oozing potential, guys, oozing potential. And if he continues his development on the current track that he's on, it's just a matter of time before the Springbok colours come. You know, he was one of the first guys to message me when I went onto Instagram. You know, I didn't want anything to do with Instagram for a long time. I'm very old school. I was just going to do everything with YouTube. And, you know, then as soon as I went onto Instagram, Sufiso was one of the first guys to message me. And the first thing he said was that, like, you are going to know about my name within 1 year. I guarantee you're going to be talking about me within 1 year. And he was damn right. We're talking about him after 1 year. And I think not only us, but the South African rugby community in general is going to be talking about him for a hell of a lot longer than that. Thanks a lot for taking the time to watch this video, guys. We will be doing the MVP and wildcard draw either Wednesday or Friday. Just keep a close eye on our Instagram and Twitter and even our YouTube. We'll make an announcement. And as always, have a fantastic week further. Cheers. Bye.